Hi, in this video we're going to talk about simplification of radical expressions, and also we're going to bring in some addition and subtraction of radical expressions. Now, I've talked about in a previous video how to simplify a radical. We're going to go over it yet again, but for this particular example, this problem, what we have is the fifth root of negative 729 y to the 6th plus 7y times the fifth root of 3y. Now, at first glance, these terms do not seem to be alike. And remember, you can't combine terms that aren't alike. All right? Now, but with radical terms, sometimes they're in camouflage. This thing is going to turn out to be alike with this term. Now, first, a negative under the radical should send off some alarm bells. So the next thing you do when you see this negative under the radical, you look at the index. If the index is even, then you're pretty much done for right now. You say not real. But 5 is odd, so we're okay with that. All right, so we just know that this is going to be negative, and then we're going to have the fifth root of 729y to the 6th. Now let's simplify the fifth root of 729y to the 6th. We need the prime factorization of 729. If you don't recognize it as being 3 to the 6th, that's okay. Just start off with division. If you add up the digits, 7 plus 2 plus 9, you get 9 plus 9, which is 18, and that tells you several things. 1, you can divide 729 by 9. 2, you can divide 729 by 3, because we can divide 18 by 9, we can divide 18 by 3. I divided by 3. 3 will go into 729 243 times. If you don't recognize 243, you keep going. You can divide it by 3. And 81, hopefully you recognize 81 as being 3 to the 4th. No matter, we wind up with 1, 2, and then 4 more. 2 and 4 gives you 6. Prime factorization of 729 is 3 to the 6th power. I want to write all my exponents whether divisible by my index, 5, or smaller than my index. So, both these have an exponent of 6. So I'm going to write 729 as 3 to the 5th times 3. When I add those two exponents, I get 3 to the 6th. Y to the 6th, I'm going to write as y to the 5th times y. And now I've got that radical all prepped and ready. To be able to write equal sign, we're going to write the other half of this expression, 7y times the fifth root of 3y. Now, simplifying that, well, 5 divided by 5 is 1. So the negative that was out there in front still comes down, and 3 to the first comes out. This 3 stayed in, this y is going to come out, so we get negative 3y times the fifth root of 3y. And then the back half, 7y times the fifth root of 3y. Now the good thing about problems like this is if they're going to simplify, you've got sort of a guideline for simplifying these radicals, because when you first look at it, you know that if you're going to be able to combine these two terms, the radical part of this has to turn into 3y. So if you get lost, you can use that as sort of a guidepost or a map. You need to turn this radical into a 3y in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, not all of them are going to simplify, so you've got to be careful with that. But if you look at it, the radical part, the fifth root of 3y, fifth root of 3y is exactly the same. Not only that, the variable part, y and y, is exactly the same. So these terms are like, we can combine them. Negative 3 plus 7 is 4. So our final answer is going to be 4y times the fifth root of 3y. Okay? Now, if you will follow these general procedures that I've tried to show you in this video, you shouldn't have very much trouble with problems like this. Good luck. Go do some math.